Tonight, unusual calm characterize celebration of Easter in Benin. Plus, Easter messages rekindle hope for an end to coronavirus pandemic. A very good evening to you. Happy Easter and a warm welcome to the news. I am Agatha Egwaruju. The total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Nigeria is now 318. Now, this is with the 13 new cases recorded by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control. 11 are in Lagos, 1 in Delta, and 1 in Kano. 70 patients have been discharged and 10 deaths recorded so far. The virus is now in 19 states in the country. Now, Pope Francis is urging Christians all over the world to be united in fighting the coronavirus pandemic. This is his Ubi et Orbi this Easter Sunday. Ifeoma Okafor has an excerpt.
Pope Francis, in the spirit of Easter, called for the relaxation of international sanctions and for the reduction or forgiveness of the debt burden of poorest nations. The Pope reminded all that this is not a time for self-centeredness, as the fight against COVID-19 is a global fight, and therefore called for an immediate global ceasefire in all troubled corners of the world. The Pope continued by saying that everyone needs to recognize themselves as part of a single family and support one another, avoid selfishly pursuing personal interests that damages peaceful coexistence. Pope Francis concluded his Ubi et Orbi message with a prayer that Christ dispel the darkness of the suffering humanity. In Benin, Ifeoma Okafor, NTA News.
In the meantime, President of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria and Archbishop of the Benin Metropolitan See, Most Reverend Augustine Akubeze, has enjoined all Nigerians to acknowledge the power of God and look beyond the coronavirus pandemic. The Archbishop gave this admonition in a homily this Easter Sunday.
Most Reverend Akubeze noted that Easter is Christ's triumph over evil, an experience which he says produces conversion and transformation. The chief shepherd urged that in the midst of the celebration of Christ's resurrection, thoughts should go to those who are fallen sick with the COVID-19 and also to medical personnel who daily risk their lives to produce healing. The Archbishop requested all to pray for an end to the scourge.
Easter is a celebration of life over death, of light over darkness, of joy over sorrow, of eternity over time.
Most Reverend Akubeze, who described Easter as a season of second chance, enjoined Christians to embrace holy living to develop a personal relationship with Christ.
Beyond the COVID-19 pandemic lies a new world where we all acknowledge the power of God and give glory to the risen Lord. I pray that the risen Christ will accompany you in all that you do, and that the joy you feel this day will remain with you and your families.
Meanwhile, at the celebration of the Easter Vigil, the Archbishop reminded Christians that Christ's resurrection is a light of faith given to faithful to dispel darkness in the world. The liturgical celebrations were scaled down and conducted without congregational voices, owing to imperatives imposed by the requirement to check coronavirus, a ravaging public health hazard. Consequently, most faithful have been compelled to pray from home and participate in liturgies only through the support of technologies like television or computer screens. In Benin, Ede Agu, NTA News.
In the meantime, Governor Gordon Obaseki has enjoined Christians to reflect on the lessons of Easter and make sacrifices to preserve communities and save lives of other citizens from the coronavirus pandemic. He made the plea while commemorating with Christians on the Easter celebration. Ifeoma Okafor reports.
The governor is not happy that Easter, one of the most important events in Christendom, is being marked this year in unusual circumstances. Owing to the measures taken to curb the spread of COVID-19, he therefore assured faithful to be patient as government will continue to review these measures daily to ensure the spread of the virus is contained.
We want to screen up to 500,000 citizens in Edo State over the next few weeks, and I am pleased to inform you that we now have 2 additional testing facilities in Benin City, where we plan to test up to 5,000 citizens. We will review our current policies when we obtain sufficient data and evidence from the screening and testings.
The governor also expressed gratitude to President Muhammad Buhari on the posthumous state pardon granted to Professor Ambrose Ali and Chief Anthony Inahoro.
With this posthumous pardon, the labors of our heroes past have indeed not been in vain. Happy Easter celebrations.
He appealed to all citizens of the state to join hands with government to reach out to the most vulnerable in the society. In Benin, Ifeoma Okafor, NTA News.
Also, the Oba of Benin, His Royal Majesty Ewaye II, is calling on Christians to pray fervently to God to forgive the sins of humanity, to bring an end to the COVID-19 pandemic that is ravaging the world. In a message felicitating with Christians on the occasion of Easter, he enjoined them, Christians irrespective of denomination, to use the period to reflect on the teachings of Jesus Christ and endeavor to emulate Christ in their daily living. The monarch also advised Christian leaders to endeavor to do what they preach in order not to mislead their congregations, reminding Christians to extend hands of fellowship to the needy and less privileged in the society. Now, spiritual leader of Christ Chosen Church of God International, Most Senior Apostle David Unwefe Ihiwu, has described the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ as heaven's greatest sacrifice that brought peace, victory, and salvation to the world. It was at a brief resurrection service at the Ugbo branch of the church in the GRA. Most Senior Apostle Unwefe Ihiwu urged Christians to use this period to rededicate their lives to the service of Christ and to mankind, just as Christ took their place and died for them on the cross of Calvary. He reminded Christians to be steadfast, even with the challenges posed by COVID-19 pandemic, believing that at the end, God will triumph.
Let us use this time to forgive one another, so I can benefit from Christ's resurrection. Forgive one another. A time for personal sacrifice. This time also is a time to display patience, long suffering, and endurance. I wish you all a very happy Christ's resurrection, otherwise known as Easter, as known all over the world. I wish you God's blessings, God's peace, God's protection. This COVID-19 or coronavirus will not take your life.
The grandchild of the Director of Lands and Housing, Christ Chosen Church of God, Apostle Dr. Pius Igberase Ehihweme, was dedicated during the service. You're watching the main news bulletin on NTA Benin. We'll take a break now. When we return, more reports on Easter. So stay tuned.
If you feel you have any of the symptoms, please visit a medical center or call any of the toll-free phone numbers 0800-123-5111 or 0800-220-0110. Happy Easter celebrations. Signed, Obaseki. Governor, Edo State.
Next time you visit the ancient city of Benin, two things will excite you: the warmth and welcome of its people, and of course, the class and style of its hospitality business. Randeki Gold, home of hospitality like no other, located in one of the most serene environments in the ancient city, truly classy and exquisite with world-class facilities. Fully equipped digital multipurpose hall with life-size, ultra-high definition LED screen, 180 square meters king-size swimming pool with bubble bath, enough to leave you breathless. The exotic Ariel's Bistro and Grill restaurant with variety of continental dishes, especially some of the rarest delicacies you can find in town. Fact is, a visit will truly convince you that we are gold. Randeki Gold is the gold wing of the prestigious Randeki Royal Hotel at 6 Henry Street off Ihama and Boundary Roads, GRO Benin City. www.randekihotels.com. Randeki Gold, our hospitality is gold.
Glow Stay Home Data Plan. All existing Glow customers now enjoy up to 20% more data. Glow Unlimited.
Signature Hotel. Please until Signature Hotel. A place of hospitality in the heart of Benin City. Please until
Pleasant Hill Signature Hotel, a place of hospitality in the heart of Benin City, located at 134 Akpakpavo Road, Benin City, Edo State, or call 0528 40557 or 081 363908.
Please until Signature Hotel. Please until Signature Hotel. A place of hospitality.
Thank you for staying tuned. Christians have again been reminded that the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ redeemed man to God, giving man dominion over sin and death, and so nothing should cause their faith to waver. This is the message of Reverend Jacob Igebo of the Christ Tower Ministries to celebrate Easter. Udwakobong Achibong reports.
Reverend Igebo said that every believer should hold on to Jesus because him alone can save mankind. He told Christians that whatever it is that the devil has taken from them, Jesus will restore, but all they need to do is to hold on to and believe in him.
If Jesus Christ had died and not risen, there would have not been something called Christians. Christian faith would have been dashed. If Jesus Christ had not brought salvation, I wonder where we would have gotten it from. We have power over sin, and that's what 1 John 4:14 told us. The third point, we have overcome the power of death. If Jesus Christ had died and not risen, then the faith of Christians would have been faded off. Jesus went to the grave, brought salvation to mankind, and that is why today we are all happy.
He urged them to be prayerful and have faith that God will not forsake his people. In Benin, Udrakabong Achibong, NTA News.
The commemoration of the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ provides the opportunity for sober reflection the true practice of Christianity. This was the message of the spiritual leader of the Deliverance Holy Mission, Prophet Sunday Okwere, to mark Easter. Ifeoma Okafo reports.
Prophet Okwere noted that the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, which was predestined by God, remains very important to believers. He therefore tasked believers to complement the true love of God by living in harmony with everyone without sentiments.
With this, my beloved brothers, sisters, and friends, enjoy your Easter in your isolated position. Please don't forget that you need to pray earnestly to ask for God's mercy. So I have started this attitude since on the 29th by giving every widow 25 kg of rice and 5,000 each. But today, these are the things I'm going to give up. This is a special Easter package for you. Good one. Then please don't be selfish in giving. If you are selfish in giving, when you ask God, He will not listen. If you want God to answer you speedily, always mark Psalm 41, verse 1 to 3.
He advised Nigerians to stay at home in order not to contract or spread the coronavirus disease. In Benin, Ifeoma Okafo, NTA News.
In the meantime, Christians have been urged not to be dismayed by their inability to fully celebrate Easter with their accustomed fanfare. The change in how it is celebrated is due to restrictions imposed to check spread of the coronavirus pandemic. Ediago spoke with some religious leaders in Benin City.
Christians all over the world look forward to the commemoration of Easter Sunday or the Resurrection Sunday in the expectation that the event serves as an opportunity for an exuberant reaffirmation of their faith in the risen Christ. But due to the prevailing global health hazard, the Easter celebration has been forced down by many notches and short of its customary exuberance. In short, the fight against coronavirus has produced a more austere Easter celebration. These religious leaders understand and are optimistic that the current situation offers a more intense opportunity for Christians to renew their faith in God.
Minus the social aspect of it, for they that worship God must worship Him in spirit and in truth, which is very, very important in a time like this.
In times like this, when the unusual begin to happen, one, your mind have to reflect on what is this. It shows the coming of Christ is near. Everyone should turn from their wicked ways.
The clerics enjoined Christians to remain steadfast as Christ has already obtained victory by his resurrection. They advised Christians to cooperate with government and always be their brother's keepers by ensuring they adhere to the precautionary measures designed to prevent the spread of the scourge.
We should pray for our medical team, for God to protect them, that the labors will not be in vain. I also appeal to various governments to kit them. Because no man going to a warfare at his own expense. These people are giving their life, they want to do this job. We should give them the necessary equipment to do this job. And as they do, God will bless both the government and the governed. And very soon, coronavirus will be a thing of the past, it will become history.
We should adhere to what government is saying now. The governments are not terror to good works. They are there to lead us to ensure our protection.
Nigeria recorded its first index case of COVID-19 on the 27th of February. In Benin, Ediago, NTA News.
Visuals in that report, especially in churches, are file copy. Now, Christians in Benin had an unusual celebration of Easter owing to the measures in place to curb the coronavirus pandemic. Oduako Bongachibong reports that although services did not hold in many churches, some faithful still found the way to fellowship, adhering to the physical or social distancing policy.
For Christians, Easter this year is different owing to restrictions in place to curb the spread of coronavirus pandemic. The pandemic has in no small measure affected Easter church services this Sunday. Sanctuaries in Benin City normally filled to capacity with members were vacant under lock and key. It was gathered that instead of the traditional church services, most church leaders are reaching out to their congregation through various social media platforms. For Christians that gathered, it was a near empty church with strict adherence to the social distancing policy. The messages at these services were similar, that Jesus is alive and all that is needed for believers is to appropriate the benefits of the resurrection in their lives.
Why Jesus isn't there, he has given us power and charge to do the work he's supposed to do now. He said to Peter in that John 3, he said, "Loveth me more than this, feed my lamb."
I want you to know that resurrection has brought us joy, has brought us peace, and has made us a carrier of his presence. And as a carrier of his presence, fear not.
Jesus Christ has risen. Wherever you are, let your heart be filled with joy that death has been overcome, Satan has been overcome, and the name of God is being glorified. Thank you.
The resurrection of Christ was that death could not hold him. And we also believe as Christians that nothing whatsoever, not even the mountains, not even diseases, not even wars or anything that can come between us or can stop us from worshiping our God, from giving thanks to God for all that he is to us.
Perhaps this will be the first time in decades Easter Sunday services will be so truncated in the country, a situation many will remember in their lifetime. However, believers are optimistic that COVID-19 will end and they will sing a new song of victory. In Benin, Obakobong Achibong, NTA News.
And it is the first in its kind in this generation as churches in Edo Central witnessed low turnout in the celebration of Easter due to government's social distancing directive. Sylvester Mokwede has details.
Speaking on the Easter celebration, some clergies admonished Christians to observe this year's Easter a sober reflection and to uphold the spirit of togetherness. They urged all Christians to imbibe the spirit of selflessness as exemplified by Christ on the cross of Calvary.
Opportunity for solemn reflection. It's an opportunity for us to learn a lesson. Man offended God. The same God, the one that is offended, also took it upon himself to reconcile the offender unto himself. That's a lesson we should all learn.
Christians should behave by sharing the love of God. They should share about the importance of his death, and they should coordinate themselves in love, both in cash and in kind.
His death brought restoration to mankind. This period actually is the period to show love. Any man that is celebrating Easter outside love does not know what Easter is.
Speaking further, they admonished believers not to be despondent about the ravaging COVID-19, as God is in control of the situation, as there's light at the end of the tunnel. In Edo Central, Sylvester Imonkwede, NTA News.
The concluding segment of the news comes right after this break. Do stay tuned.
Ogbelo 2020 don't come with ogbonge travel awufo. Muyi line, the transport company where get everybody for mind. Say comfortable traveling no suppose tear pocket o, as awu bonanza price still dey from Benin to Lagos, mine to Yanapaja Yaba and Aja for just 2,500 naira. Benin to Port Harcourt 2,000 naira plus cheap awu price. To worry Bayelsa and Niger Delta routes, including Ekpoma, Auchi and Abuja. Muyi line executive charter cars like Toyota Corolla, Toyota Camry and Sienna dey to local and international airports and anywhere for Nigeria. Save money, enjoy safe and comfortable journey as this travel awoof day till June 30th, 2020. Muyi line head office dey 169 Oselu Lagos Road, opposite Technical Junction, Benin City. Muyi line, friend of Nigeria students.
Come, let's find out why this place is always packed full with people. Why did you choose Uyi Technical?
E don't say when I dey follow you technical, they buy original generator, grinding machine and pepper mill. Now make I dey back people they come, make they come enjoy wetin I dey enjoy.
At Oyi Technica, I get all sizes of generator that I want with the right papers at affordable price.
At Oyi Technica, I get quality, genuine, high-powered generator like Pekis and others.
Wonderful testimonies. Really, Oyi Technica na the generator headquarters for different quality, genuine and affordable generators, spare parts, grinding machine, pepper mill and others. Oyi Technica, 79, 81 and 83 Mission Road, Benin City. Oyi Technica, genuine affordable products, wonderful testimonies.
St. Regis Hotels and Resorts. Come have a taste of class and quality. Exclusive VIP suites and resorts in GRA, Benin City. Experience paradise in comfort. Come live in your dream home of luxury. St. Regis Hotels and Resorts at number 7 Osaigede Street off Upper Adesua, GRA, Benin City. For reservations, call 08-1800 00956.
Thank you for staying on. A renowned philanthropist and chief executive of Ray Royal Construction Company, Bishop Matthew Okpebulu, has put smiles on the faces of the people in his community, Uromi. It is part of efforts to ameliorate sufferings of the less privileged as a result of government's stay-at-home directive. Rosemary Ibrahim reports.
By donating food items which include rice, beans and pieces of meat, the philanthropist Reverend Matthew Okpebulu said the donation of the food items is part of efforts to alleviate the sufferings of the less privileged and to cushion the effects of the stay-at-home directive by the government in the fight against the spread of coronavirus. He said at this critical time, most people cannot afford 3 square meals, which he said may lead to starvation and depression.
Very normal. I'm able to reach somebody needs. That's what's very, very sad. Because of what is happening now, that's the more we came doing what we're doing.
Of the beneficiaries thanked the donor for his humanitarian and kind gesture, noting that other well-meaning individuals should emulate him.
Wishing more round blessing, he has shown that he's a citizen and he's affected by what is going on around. I pray that God bless him more than he expects in Jesus' name.
My God will bless him. I used to call him my king in my time. He's my reverence, my father. He's a father indeed. I appreciate him for what he has done for us today.
In Uromi, Rosemary Ibrahim, NTA News.
And that concludes our package tonight. Many thanks for watching. Once again, happy Easter. And remember to keep yourself safe from coronavirus. Wash your hands regularly and keep your distance. Good evening.
The Holy Ghost, Holy Ghost, the living fire, Holy Ghost, the living fire, Holy Ghost, fire from heaven, burn in me, remain in me, fire of the Holy Ghost, Holy Ghost, the living fire.